Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
Police sending a warning to a number of men wanted for murder.
The opposition leader reacts to the National Security Minister's recent comments on the National Intelligence Agency.
A rare murder for Acklands. We've got the details in court straight ahead.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, police are on the hunt for 7 murder suspects, one of whom is wanted for the recent murder of a woman he previously was sent to prison for assaulting. Authorities say the men are doing all they can to outsmart detectives, from hiding out with family and friends to changing their appearance. However, the Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police is sending a stern warning to those wanted men and the people believed to be harboring them. Kyle Joaquin reports.
We will find you wherever you are in the Commonwealth of Bahamas, and if you have left the Commonwealth of Bahamas, we will find you because our tentacles are very, 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 very far.
It's a warning for 7 suspects whose faces are featured prominently on these wanted posters. The 7 men, all wanted for murder, according to Dean, are no stranger to authorities, including 45-year-old Ronald Nottage, who spent a year in prison after being convicted for attempting to strangle his ex-girlfriend.
He was recently released from prison. And so this is some of the things that we are happening with these repeat offenders. He is a prolific offender. We are asking members of the public that if you see him, or if you know where he is, call the police. We don't want you to approach him.
The Nassau Village resident is now wanted in connection with the murder of that same ex, Valdries Boleg, who was stabbed to death early Wednesday morning. Nottage is just one of 7 suspects police have launched an island-wide search for.
The first one being Dwight Morrison, a.k.a. Kitty. He is of the Fox Hill area, Bernard Road. He is right in that community, We want to see him. We want to see him at the Central Detective Unit. Patrick Goff, he is of the Washington Street area, right in that Angliston. You're talking about Padolio Street. We're talking about Minnie Street, the Washington Street, where his last known address. You could see that he has plots. Based on our intel, he has since cut his plots.
Police believe some of these men know each other and may even move around together.
Alfred George, Knowles Drive. Knowles Drive is just off Tonic Darling Highway, what we refer to as Bozeman Town. He is from that general area. We know that is his last known address. Again, he is one of those individuals, hangs out as well in the Carmichael Road area. Jermaine Scott from the Golden Gates area, Golden Gates number 2, and that is a wide area, but we have pinpointed his address. We've been there, operation team, on numerous occasions, and the same story from family members that they have not seen him.
Senior ACP Dean says authorities are also on to several family members and friends who they believe are hiding some of these wanted men.
And if we come to your house, it ain't gonna be that we can lock up just the criminal. We lock up everybody can be arrested. And I can tell you, when that fella's going to court, or woman is going to court, everybody, you and them will be together on that same day appearing in court.
Based on our intel, we know that he is between Morley and Carmichael Road. He has some friends and relatives in that area, and we believe that they are hiding him out. So please, turn him in.
Bail remains a concern for police, who say all of these wanted men have been arrested before, but released, only to commit even more crimes. And as officers saturate the streets this weekend in search of these offenders, Dean also urged motorists to ensure their vehicles are licensed and all passengers are wearing seatbelts, because they too will find themselves in hot water.
We are saying to members of the public, if your car needs to be licensed, get it licensed. Whatever you need to do with your vehicle, get your vehicles in order, because we're taking that zero tolerance approach to those, because we believe those small minor matters, people continue to commit those minor matters, then they graduate to those major matters.
If you have any information on the whereabouts of these wanted men, police are asking you to contact the nearest police station or call 911, 919, or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 328-TIPS. For our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, opposition leader Philip Brave Davis is slamming the Minnis administration for what he calls its hypocritical handling of the National Intelligence Agency, which was labeled a spy agency by the Free National Movement. Davis insisted that the F&M government is still funding the NIA, which means the Christie administration was on the right track in its crime-fighting efforts.
Davis says in this case, hindsight is 20/20 for the Free National Movement government, which he says is now realizing the importance of the NIA.
And now that they are in charge, they can see what the work was about, and it was about securing our borders, ensuring that intelligence is shared between the various enforcement agencies, and being able to better and effectively combat those challenges that we have relating to crime, terrorism, human trafficking, and all those ills that could tear at the fabric of our society.
The NIA was established under the last Christie administration and was touted as a unit for intelligence gathering in the fight against crime. While in opposition, Dr. Hubert Minnis repeatedly slammed the project and questioned how the program was being funded without any legal foundation or proper oversight. Dr. Minnis also referred to the program as a spy agency that should be shut down. With still no legislation governing the agency, the Minnis administration has maintained its budget allocation of $90,000 for the 2017-2018 fiscal year. When asked about the funding, Davis chuckled, insisting he finds it funny they are now supporting a program they once claimed was illegally spying on Bahamians.
I mean, a spy organization.
Right.
Yeah, they're a spy organization.
Earlier this week, Minister of National Security Marvin Dames said his ministry is still assessing the NIA. He also promised that under a Minnis-led government, the NIA will be robust and active.
Well, I'm happy to see that they're embracing the NIA, and they'll recognize that all the allegations made about them were not as they said.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
And a 43-year-old man was charged in the magistrate's court today in connection with the stabbing death of an Acklands man on Saturday. April Sands was in court and has the details.
Well, it's said to be a rare case, but one man found dead on the quiet island of Acklands leaves the unlikely murder count at 1 for the year. 43-year-old Marvin Edgecombe was arraigned today in the magistrate's court in connection with the murder of David Hanna. Hanna was reportedly found dead shortly after 8:30 a.m. on Sunday in Delectable Bay, Acklands, following an altercation the night before, during which he was stabbed. According to police reports, the incident occurred around 8:30 p.m. Saturday at Masons Bay when two men fought, resulting in one being hit in the head with a bottle and the other being stabbed with an object. Both men were transported to the local clinic where they were treated and released. However, the following morning, police say the man who was stabbed was found dead outside his home. The other man was arrested. In court today, Edgecombe, who appeared before Magistrate Andrew Forbes, was charged with murder. He was not required to enter a plea and was denied bail. Edgecombe was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services and will return to court on October 11, 2017, when a voluntary bill of indictment will be served. Reporting for our News, I'm April Sands.
Well, a 63-year-old American woman accused of attempting to murder her husband was also arraigned in the magistrate's court today. Robinette Thompson was charged with the attempted murder of William Thompson on June 4th. The woman's attorney told the court that Thompson was in an abusive relationship and suggested that she be sent to the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center to be seen by a therapist. Thompson was not required to enter a plea and was denied bail. She was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt ordered that she be seen by a therapist. Thompson returns to court on June 2nd. Thompson returns to court on June 23rd. In other news, the terms of the still-sealed Baha Mar deal are not the only concern for executives at the Atlantis Resort. Senior Vice President of Public Relations Ed Fields says he is also concerned that the new resort may be targeting the same type of hotel guests. Giorgio Bain has more.
Atlanta's Senior Vice President of Public Relations Ed Fields suggested that the recently opened Baha Mar Resort, which held its soft opening on April 21st, has been targeting the same group of guests. During several interviews with Baha Mar executives prior to the resort's opening, when questioned how the two mega resorts would share a tourist market, executives made it clear that they were catering to a more high-end clientele. But according to Fields, that does not seem to be the case.
I don't think there's been any appreciable impact. Obviously, though, it's something we continue to monitor. We know that, I mean, to be candid, that at the moment, I think they're fishing in our pool. We know that, you know, certainly, while there's not been any appreciable dilution of our customer base, that, you know, that's the kind of primary focus, it seems.
Baha Mar's Senior Vice President of Administration and External Affairs, Robert Sands, refused to respond to Fields' comments when contacted today, but revealed earlier this week that Baha Mar's much-awaited international marketing campaign will begin in earnest near the end of the year. It has been suggested that Baha Mar is delaying the rollout of its marketing campaign until it receives a portion of the money from the government, agreed to in accordance with Chow Tai Fook Enterprises' heads of agreement. Fields says Atlantis will not stand still and wait.
We've always moved along. Obviously, in the past, we spent a lot of money on new development, new construction. Well, now we're focused more on our people, on our country, how we integrate our resort into the overall destination, how we integrate that into encouraging entrepreneurship that can integrate with our offering. So yeah, there's a lot being done.
According to Fields, it is also important to note, as the Minister of Tourism Dionisio de Aguilar alluded to, that the marketing dollars are spent to expand the marketplace and not just to go after customers and employees of other resorts. Fields says he is also not concerned about suggestions that de Aguilar may have a soft spot for Baha Mar because he once served as a board member under the former developer Sarkis Ismailian.
The Minister of Tourism does not involve himself in the intricacies of a hotel's operation. So again, all we need is a level playing field. We're all a part of the promotion boards, and the stakeholder interests are all represented. And so I, from my perspective, I don't see that being an issue.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
Still to come on Our News, the Public Accounts Committee to examine the new government's budget allocations. That and more when Our News returns.